I wrote you guys a letter. I cried a little bit when I was writing this, so we'll see if I cry a little bit when I read it. But here we go. My dear sixth graders, it is crazy to me that we're at the end of the year already, and that I can only call you sixth graders for a few more weeks. Seeing as this year didn't quite end like I planned it, I still wanted to send you off into the world with some words of gratitude, encouragement, and advice. So here we go. Some of you may know, while I'm guessing that most of you don't, that this was my very first year of teaching, like ever. I've worked in classrooms for the last year and a half, but always with an actual teacher there. My first period knows the term waffles pretty well, but they didn't know that they weren't the only waffles in my life. Sorry, guys. For the rest of you, referring to you as my waffles just means that you're the class that I test things on, like the first waffles that you make. You have to test the temperature of the waffle iron and the makeup of the batter and the time you spend cooking the waffles, and usually the first one doesn't come out quite right. While this year there have definitely been some major flops in terms of lessons and conversations and behaviors, etc., y'all have turned out as great first waffles. I am immensely grateful for you unknowingly journeying with me as my experiments. I hope you've learned a lot, both about language and literature and about life. I know I've learned a ton from you. Little things like how to do the renegade, new phrases like no cap, and some very interesting music choices. I've also learned teachery things. I know now that I should never create a Google Slides presentation that everyone can edit. I learned that DLI is helpful but kind of boring, and that I should allow for more time for creative writing. That book clubs should be a more frequent occurrence, and that teaching Black history through poetry is going to take way longer than a month. But more than that, you guys have all taught me how to have fun, be understanding, and stand my ground. I started the year thinking that doing all three of those things would be impossible, but you showed me differently. And as much as you guys can drive me nuts, hello, second period fart symphony, you showed me that I love what I do. You will always have a very special place in my heart as a class that taught me how to be a teacher and how to be a better human. Thank you. Now I also promised you encouragement and advice in this letter. My encouragement, you guys can take on and change the world. Our world has been turned upside down in the last few months, and you've handled it with honesty and openness that's blown me away. You've openly talked about the joys and the struggles, about mental health, about feeling overwhelmed, and about loneliness. And you keep doing what you have to do among all the craziness. For some of you, these last few months have been unimaginably difficult, as you and your families have made sacrifices I can't begin to understand. For others, this has been a time where you've come alive. Your schoolwork and your creativity are blossoming. And still others, this is just weird. And you don't feel like you have any reason to feel meh, but you also can't give it your best right now. All of those things and everything in between is okay, because you keep going. You, my sixth grade class of 2019-2020, have the power to change the world. So use that power well. Finally, some advice. First and foremost, always strive to be the version of you that a younger you needs. Let your personal history shape you, but not define who you are or what you're capable of. Let yourself feel emotions even if no one else knows. Just don't bottle it up. Find a creative outlet. Writing, art, sports, theater, music, whatever. Just do something creative every once in a while. Realize that you're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. When it happens, be open and honest and do what you can to make amends. In your relationships, romantic, friendships, families, others, make sure that you communicate what you need and listen to the other people. Know that you deserve to be treated with respect, and that people, including you, will mess up sometimes. Be kind and understanding and learn when to leave. Try to have an older person whom you trust in your life who will give you honest advice, and make yourself available to someone younger to have a similar role in their life. And don't try to grow up too fast. I want you to know that I'm in your corner, and that I'm here for you even when you're not my student anymore. Come and visit me if you ever need a shoulder to cry on, someone to laugh with, or at, or just to talk. I know that you can do great things, and I will always, always, always believe in you. Thank you for being you. Love, Miss Herrera.